Look at this picture of the Buddha. When we see him, we think, what a magnificent person that has entered this world. We think how blessed we are to be gifted with this teacher. We can't imagine anyone more perfect. Somebody so
What happened? What are these statues? Who are these people? What are all these different, weird, misshapen... Who are these people? Are these still the Buddha? Is this still the same Buddha that we show our respect to day and night? Is this still the same person? These weird, tall, large, these fat, all of these different versions, but we don't normally show our respect to them. Are they still the same? Now, why are there different versions? We still pay attention to the better ones. What about these? Do we still show them the same amount of respect? These skinny versions of the Buddha. How about a real picture of the Buddha or a statue? How about this painting? Maybe another painting, or maybe even an AI generated one, or a watercolor. Do we all show them the same respect? All these different versions of the Buddha, all these different statues, they all symbolize our different ways of respecting the Buddha. Look at this parahatta. Look at the elephants going, the drummers. Listen to the sound. Listen how beautiful it sounds. Look at the dancers. Look at how everything's just flowing on the water. It's a very beautiful sight to see. Now, as you're looking at the parahatta, you might have missed something. If you look really close, what is that? There's something going on the water. Do you see it? It looks kind of like a boat.
now look at this scene. A lot quieter, isn't it? The object that you probably missed, the boat, is now floating on top of the parahatta. The boat, which represents the true philosophy of Buddhism, is floating on top of the rich culture and traditions. Now, one depends on the other to exist, which is why one must not overpower the other, just like how a boat depends on water to float.
Now, let's focus a bit more on the boat. What exactly is the philosophy that we're talking about? The philosophy of Buddhism. Well, the philosophy is a very big topic, a very complicated topic to understand. So let me simplify it for you with an example. If a loved one, let's say your mom, got sick, you'd feel sad, right? Why? Why are we upset when our moms get sick, but not when some stranger on the street gets sick? We feel sad because our minds make up a figure known as mom. But the real question is, do we feel sad because the figure is suffering? Or is it our attachment to this figure we label as mom that makes us feel this way? The root of this attachment is from the established bond between us. This is why the stronger the attachment, the more suffering we feel. No other factor. We have this suffering because we don't see reality. We create this figure known as mom. No one else. So, how do we create mom? We, as humans, have six senses. sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch, and our mind. Using these senses, we identify our mom. For example, we see our mom, hear our mom's voice, and have memories and thoughts about our mom. But let's say, somehow, you lose those memories and thoughts of your mom. Now tell me, can you think of something you have never experienced or have heard of?
No, not really.
Yes, because the memories of your mom are gone. You can differentiate her from other people. Sure, she might look different, but because those memories are gone, you don't know that that singular person is your mom. She would be the same as everybody else. Everything in this world, this universe, is made up of something called rupa. Rupa is made up of 4 key elements. These are patavi, hardness, apo, liquidity, tejo, heat, and vayo, air. Examples of these elements would be like muscles, tissues, and flesh. Apo, liquidity, would be like blood and tears in our body. Tejo, heat, would be like body heat. And vayo, air, would be like the air we breathe every single minute. Now, these 4 major elements build up an additional set of non-major elements as well. Rasa, taste, gandha, smell, varna, color, and oja, energy, are formed when these key elements come together.
Well, why can't we see these elements?
Good question. We can't see these elements for 2 reasons. The first being that our minds are just not that developed. And the second being that these elements are small, smaller than electrons or quarks or whatever else scientists have discovered. Additionally, for living beings, there is also another part known as nama. Nama is your mind. It is both invisible and intangible. Nama is what makes up your thoughts and actions. Nama consists of 4 main steps: Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, and Vijnana. Now, let's back up a bit. Rupa is the physical form of something, and Nama is the control center for that something. When Nama and Rupa combine, not only do they make up a living being, they also become dependent on each other. If one was to fail, the other is sure to follow. Now, an example of something with just a Rupa would be this tree or flower. An example of something with both a Nama and a Rupa would be this cat, mouse, you, and me. Now, earlier I said that Nama makes up your thoughts and actions, right? How does it do that? What exactly are the processes of Nama and why do they occur?
Good question. And to that, I answer with another question. Do you ever wonder how your mind processes a thought? Probably not. To begin, we must first begin with a rupa, an object literally existing in the universe. This rupa is made up of the 4 elements that we previously explained: patavi, apo, tejo, and vayo. And it also has an additional element, varna, color notes from the sun.
Okay, so let me get this straight. We can see this rupa, right? This flower. How can we see this flower?
Simple, through our eyes. But this isn't even where the thought process begins, no. Our eyes are just organs of our bodies that are made to perform its sole function, to see things. Like how a camera takes a photograph of an image. The real process begins when this image is sent to our minds, where the first step happens, Vedana. This is where our mind determines whether we like, dislike, or have neutral feelings about the rupa. So, in the scenario with a flower, for example, if this image was sent to our minds, we might decide, oh, I like this rupa. But keep in mind, we don't know that this flower in the image is actually something known as flower. It's just an object. The real identification happens in the second step, Sanya. Sanya uses past experiences or memories to determine what the rupa actually is. So in the scenario with a flower, we may have been taught back in our younger years that this rupa is something called a flower. So for the rest of our life, we categorize this rupa as flower. The final 2 steps, Sankara and Vijnana, are grouped together because they're very close. This is where our body produces a response towards the rupa. So again, with this flower, we've determined that we liked it, we've identified it, so now we might think to pick it or maybe to smell the flower. Now I know I broke this process down into many steps, but the truth is, it's actually a very fast process and almost impossible to break down. Why is it impossible? Because we simply don't have the wisdom to do so.
Have you ever really looked at this world? I mean, not just at what's in front of you, but at the world as a whole.
No, not really.
I didn't think so. No one really does these days. But our great teacher, the Supreme Buddha, did. And he found something truly amazing. He found out that there's not just one world, there's two. The Lokottara world and the Laukika world. The Lokottara world is a world that we are living in. It has attachments and labels and memories for everything. Let's use our friend Anna as an example. Let's look at Anna. In the conventional world, the Lokottara world, you can see that Anna is 35 years old, a yoga instructor, Polish, is a woman. Now, these are all labels for Anna, right? Let's take all those labels away. Now tell me, if you take those labels away from something, what do you really know about it?
Nothing.
That's the truth. The Laukika world, the ultimate world, that is where everything is the same. There are no labels or attachments or anything. Everything's just a rupa or a nama and a rupa together. Now, let's go back to our friend Anna. In the ultimate lens, you can see that Anna is nothing but a nama and a rupa with Patavi, Apo, Tejo, and Vayu. Now, I've talked about this conventional and ultimate world, but how can we see these worlds for ourselves?
We have invited you to join us to not only understand these concepts, but to also understand yourself and really look at you. We have invited you here to join us to not only understand these concepts, but to also understand yourself. In order to escape this world of suffering, this world where we are blinded by these impermanent pleasures, we must understand reality. And to do so, we must follow the true philosophy behind Buddhism. We must follow the Buddha's true teachings and understand the reality of this world. Over the seventh and third one, Saturn.